And joining us now is the author of Murder in the Dollhouse, the Jennifer Dulos story, Rich Cohen. And Rich, good to see you here in the program. Doing all this research into this book, what's the biggest surprise you learned about Jennifer Dulos?
You know, normally you write nonfiction. I write nonfiction for many years. Nothing surprises you. You're just filling it in. This book surprised me, this research, because I found out things about her when she sort of ran away from New York after she stopped writing plays. She changed her name. She changed her religion for a while, stuff her friends didn't know. So the sort of ups and downs and ins and outs and struggles of identity and what kind of life she wanted to live. You know, I called it Murder in the Dollhouse because she had was obsessed with dollhouses when she was a kid and creating this perfect life. And it's sort of like the real world entered the dollhouse because the perfect life is a fantasy. And I felt like that was what surprised me, that she had this struggle between this artistic part of her and this domestic part of her. She wanted both. And I feel like that's a struggle a lot of people go through.
Do you believe that Fotis Dulos worked alone in killing Jennifer Dulos and disposing of her body?
No. I mean, I spoke to people, and just based on the amount of time he had and the inability to find her body, I feel like there's somebody else that we don't know who's out there who helped him. Maybe even somebody came from Greece and could have disposed of her body. And if he were able to hand off her body, they won't find it until somebody builds a new basement or a swimming pool or something in 100 years, you know. So then that's really horrible, because you feel like until her body is found, it's as if in some sense the crime is still happening.
Your book points out that there are really only 2 times of the day that she disappeared that they could have disposed of the body, and one is a short window in New Canaan. Tell me about that first.
Well, basically, Fotis Dulos, I believe, was like a psychopath. And psychopaths believe they're smarter than everybody. And he thought he concocted the perfect crime. He underestimated the police, and he underestimated the technology. He was, in fact, on camera all day. So though he was wearing a disguise, changed his license plates, he was on camera. So they knew where he was. He sort of disappears from the cameras like a plane that falls off radar for 2 periods. Once in the morning, right after he commits a crime in New Canaan, and once later in the afternoon up in Farmington, where, you know, he was cleaning up from the crime. So the belief is he had to get rid of her body in one of those 2 windows. I think it was in New Canaan because he was driving a truck of his employee that apparently was a rickety truck that didn't always start when it was supposed to start, and it would have been incredibly risky to put her body in that car and drive it all the way from New Canaan up to Farmington. So a much more logical solution, it's like Occam's razor, is that she's buried somewhere close to where she was killed.
And he likely had help, you said, from someone else who we don't know who this person is.
Right, it's all, you know, supposition and talking to different people, but you know, it's hard, it's terrible, it's hard. This is a hard thing to do, to just make someone disappear. And he was unsuccessful in everything else he did. He killed her, he got caught, he was seen, there were witnesses, except he has successfully made her body disappear. And I don't think that he did it alone.
Michelle Draconis, of course, says that she's innocent, just an innocent victim during all this. The prosecutors and a jury disagreed. What did you learn about her and her potential role in this?
Well, I sort of thought that the case that she would make in court would be, look, I'm the second victim. You know, when Jennifer Farber started dating Fotis, she went out with him 3 times before she Googled him and found out he was married. So she was the paramour before Michelle Draconis was. So she could say, there but for the grace of God go I, 10 years down the road this could have been me. But there's so much evidence making her look more like an accomplice than like a victim, that even though I kind of went in with an open mind, because I find it very hard to believe anybody would be involved in the murder of anyone. That's like a block that I have. I don't get it, you know? But then the case made against her in court was so strong.
Some have said that, you know, one of her biggest mistakes was that she changed her story to police.
Yes, and she'll say she was stressed out in the situation. All that's true. But she kept changing. She told a story that left out the details that would implicate her. And then when the police slowly revealed what they knew, which is what police do, she would then change her story in order to fit the new information, which is what guilty people do.
For example, she didn't mention, oh, and we also drove through Hartford's North End while he dumped trash.
Right. And then said she was just giving the highlights. But if you put her interrogations, which have been released, watch them side by side, you can see somebody just lying.
The book is Murder in the Dollhouse by Rich Cohen. Good summer reading.
Yeah.
Rich, good to see you in the program.
Thank you.
And we have an extended interview with Rich Cohen on our website. Thanks for watching This Week in Connecticut. Up next, Tom Dutchick and the Capitol Report crew, and I'll see you tomorrow night on the news.